Welcome to the Attic Mana Dad here. It's the channel where we explore what's fun in Magic, mostly on Arena, but we'll talk a little bit about Magic the Gathering online as well. Not going to be like last week where I did a ton of research and I presented a ton of stuff. We're just going to kind of cruise through the meta. I got my daughter home here from summer break, so we'll just buzz through it, as it were. So starting off with Standard on MTG Arena, and big story this week in not just Standard, as we'll probably see, is it Prowess. Look at this. The popularity just like shooting up from what was it at the beginning of the week? Just like in the low percentage, between 0 and 4%, and now it's more popular than Mono Red, #1 deck in popularity. Of course, not necessarily the winningest deck. It does hit the top 8. They're right at the bottom. Azorius Omniscience still really crushing it in terms of win rate. I don't know why more people haven't moved into Omniscience. I guess because it's just like such a repetitive deck. You don't sort of get the same thing. And then Mono Red Aggro, #2 in both win rate and popularity here. If we quick look at the higher ranks, going from Platinum to Mythic, Prowess still the most popular, Omniscience still the winningest. Win rate of Mono Red goes down at the higher ranks. You want to be more Mardu, Aggro, or Boros auras. Probably both of these, in some respect, are using Cori-Steel Cutter. So we can talk about why everybody wants to play the Izzet Aggro all of a sudden. Cori-Steel Cutter, this card from Tarkir, is a kind of a sleeper. I don't think very many, if any, people called this one to be the breakout card. But you can see, right, the very first deck I did for Standard was Mono Red using Cori-Steel Cutter, and we put it to the test. And it's only been continuously proving itself since then. So this is an Izzet Prowess list, by the way, that has a 61% win rate. So if you want to just see what a good Izzet Prowess list looks like, there's going 4 of on the stock ups. They're never running out of action. 4 of on the opts, and then just some interaction with Into the Floodmaw, a little bit of Spell Pierce, which Spell Pierce is a little bit of a non-bow with Cori-Steel Cutter. You don't really necessarily want to hold up. You'd much rather Into the Floodmaw to get your second spell of the turn, and then just crushing with the Slick Shots and the Monastery Swift Spears and the Monstrous Rages. Opponent blocking is still banned in Standard. 4 Sleight of Hands, and 4/4/4/4/4/4/4 with the mana base. Pretty straightforward. Storm Chaser's Talent. No way to bounce it. Doesn't matter. Actually, can you bounce it? That's only opponent stuff. So yeah, just straight up prowess value with Storm Chaser's Talent. And that is that deck. So let's go back to the full bronze to Mythic. Let's look at best of 3 in Standard. Best of 3 Izzet Prowess, also the most popular, and #3 in win rate. So it has a lot more play. Look at this. Just far and away. If you're going to play a deck in Standard, you need to be ready to deal with Izzet Prowess for sure. There's Esper Self Bounce in #2, and then Jeskai Oculus just pipping Jeskai Control there for #3. Mono Red Aggro is kind of just staying flat there in best of 3. So let's take a look at Explorer. Best of 3, Mono Red has the highest win rate, and Rakdos both in a tier above Dimir. Izzet 5 color. Izzet super popular? Like, that's going to be the theme today. Everybody loves Izzet. Well, maybe not in Explorer best of 1. Izzet is at #8 in popularity and does not even rank in terms of win rate. Looks like there's a top 3 here. Jund, Rakdos, Mono Red. It's kind of where it's at. We see Mono Red having a surge here at the end of the week. And in terms of win rate, it's actually held pretty steady. But more people want to play it. It's an easy deck to get into if you want to play some Explorer or Pioneer. In Alchemy, we have Orzhov Pixie with the highest win rate. Popularity, Grixis Heist. People love Heistin. Heistin and Otter's actually right up there. Almost the same amount of popularity as Grixis Heist is Izzet Otters. So loving the Izzet everywhere. Let's see if they're playing Cori-Steel Cutter in, yep, 4 of Cori-Steel Cutter in the Izzard Otters deck with a 70.5% win rate. If you're not opposed to Alchemy, I mean, that is a way to rank up. Boy. That looks like the place to play. Potentially the place to play, is it, if that's what you're into. Win rate over time. Orzhov Pixie has just really been surging, however. Let's see what the highest Orzhov Pixie win rate deck is. So here's a deck with 45 matches, 84.4% win rate. Pretty good. I'll just hover over the cards if you want to see dedicated doll maker. I can't even tell you what some of these things do. Yeah, it's a lot of alchemy stuff. I mean, these are familiar from standard, but Nectamen shines again. Porcine Portent. Smile at Death is interesting. That's a new card. So that's Alchemy. Checking out Historic. Boros Auras with the highest win rate by far. Popularity, though, Mono Green Elves. People loving the Elves in Historic. Probably because we got Crater Hoof with the new Tarkir. Dropping that hoof. And in Timeless, again, not a ton of data. I encourage you Timeless players to install on tap.gg. It's free. And share your data. At least it'll be sucking up data from your opponents as well, I believe. So get in for that. Looks like a bunch of these have kind of fallen off in popularity. That was the Mardu Energy has fallen down to number 2 as, what is this? 5-color Oops All Spells has surged up to number 1. Looks like they traded off a little bit earlier in the week as well. And in terms of win rate, Mardu Energy still has by far the higher win rate. So interesting times there in Timeless. Popularity is going to be Ugin. It is Ugin. Number 1 most pop. Oh no, number 1 in win rate. Number 2 in popularity. Codis actually has taken the popularity. I have videos for both of those. In terms of win rate, Ugin and then Rusko. Part of Ugin's win rate, of course, is people not wanting to face it and conceding immediately. Kentramo is still quite popular. Elspeth Stormslayer, thinking of making a video for that. Also, Tiamat. I'm working on a 5-color dragon deck, so stick around, subscribe for that if you like Brawl stuff. Definitely let me know. I think Brawl has been increasing popularity. My Brawl videos have been getting more views, so I'm vindicated for just posting Brawl in addition to standard and just whatever I'm interested in. That's the kind of channel this is. Okay, so moving on. We looked at this Is It Prowess list. Just taking a look at MTG Goldfish, which is mostly MTG Online stats. They have Is It Aggro all the way down at 4.4% in the standard metagame with Esper Self Bounce at 17.1%. So I'm not sure how they calculate this, if it's within, I guess this is the last 30 days. If we look at 7 days. Yeah, okay. If we look at 7 days, Is It Aggro? Number 1. Okay. So that answers my question. Jeskai Control, Jeskai Oculus. So there's a lot of Is It there in the top 3. Some people adding white, but interesting times there. And then if we look at the Pioneer metagame, I guess we'll look at the last 7 days. Mono Red Aggro on top here. Is It Phoenix? And I was looking at these Mono Red Aggro lists. So, okay, I did do a little bit of research just to see if Cori-Steel Cutter was in there. And it's not in either of these 2 Mono Red Aggro lists that just went 5-0. So I just scanned to see if there's been any tournaments. Doesn't look like it. I think there were some big paper tournaments, but I'm not seeing the stats here. You're going to have to do the research because I learned last week that paper tournaments sometimes is hard to get the information on. But I do think I saw on Blue Sky some people had played some paper tournaments this weekend somewhere. I don't remember where. But congratulations to those of them who won, and hopefully your results will be posted online in places that I check for the metagame one day. So that's about all I got to say. As I said, keeping it short and sweet this week. Again, comments, is there some kind of coverage you like in particular or whatever? It's good to know. This is still a relatively new segment on the channel, the live stream of the meta. I buy the untap.gg data, so you don't have to, but if you'd like to chip in, you can always become a member of the channel. I make it as cheap as YouTube allows me to, and that gets you access to videos early, and some videos that are not available to the general public are also available just to members. So with that, this has been Manadad, reminding you magic is a game so fun, even dads can enjoy it. Adios.